Alright, for those of you that were just here, I do apologize that the mic was not working. So if you do jump back on, looks like it is working now. So what we're going to talk about tonight is unlocking your free resources guide for the Fundamentals and Principles and Practices exam. Alright, first step, preparing for the FS and PS exam. So we're going to cover the introductory, what NCEES is, who they are, the resources, the importance of the reference guides, and how to obtain them. If you guys have any questions, by all means, go ahead and put them in the comment section, like and subscribe. And for those that don't know, my name is Chris, and I'll be your host tonight with NLC Test Prep. Okay, so here we go. Introductory to NCEES and its resources. So for those that don't know, NCEES is the National Council for Examiners of Engineering and Surveying. It's a nonprofit organization for advanced professional licensure for engineers and surveyors within the United States. A little bit of the history. It was established back in the 1920s by the Council of State Boards of Engineering Examiners for the United States and Canada. So I just want to let everybody know, now Canada has its own thing, so they are not part of NCEES. And when you go to membership, we'll take a look at that next. So it consists of memberships licensing boards from all U.S. states, the District of Columbia, Guam, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands. So like I said, Canada is no longer in there. Great, yeah, if you got any questions about getting licensed, go ahead and send us an email to sales@nlcprep.com. We can schedule a one-on-one call and we can discuss about getting you licensed and what the requirements are for your state. Alright, next up, exam development. So the FE is Fundamentals of Engineering, the FS is, of course, Fundamentals of Surveying, and then they've got the PE and then the PS. So the exam administration is basically various testing centers throughout the year. Everybody knows you typically go to a Pearson VUE testing center, and it's monitored while you take it. So it's a proctored exam. So syllabi and standards. These are established syllabi and standards for the FS, FE, PS, and the FS. If I didn't say that already, yeah. So yeah, they create the standards and all the information for these exams. Credentials for evaluation, evaluating the credentials of international engineering and surveying graduates who seek licensure in the U.S. So they will also review anybody's transcripts and things like that if you're coming from outside of the U.S. to ensure that you meet the requirements. Professional development, of course, is for professional development for engineers and land surveyors for continuing education. And the standards and guidelines, like we kind of talked about, licensure, ethics, professional practices of engineering and surveying. All right, next up, NCEES collaborates with professional organizations and regulatory bodies to promote constant standards and practices in engineering and surveying licensure. In summary, NCEES plays a crucial role in maintaining those high standards for engineers and surveyors, and that's one of the requirements in order to become licensed is passing these exams. And what it does is by protecting the public health, safety, and welfare of the individuals, of the public, sorry. Next is going to be the reference guide. So this is kind of what I was talking about, and this is the big thing that we're going to cover tonight, is the FS and PS reference guides. So both of these exams, of course, are administered by NCEES. Again, once you register with them, you typically take it at like a Pearson VUE testing center. And then from there, it's meeting the requirements of your state. Some states you'll be required to, let's say, submit an application before taking your exam. Other states, you can take your exam, and then once you meet the requirements, you're able to submit your records to become your LSIT or for passing the principles and practices on your way to becoming licensed in your state. Alright, FS exam. So FS exam is going to be the initial step towards becoming a licensed surveyor. It tests the fundamental knowledge and skills that are essential for entry-level positions in the surveying profession. So the FS exam is going to kind of encompass a lot of different things: mathematics, data analysis, measurement techniques, basic survey computations, GIS, GNSS, FEMA, ALTA standards, all of that. Pretty much everything's covered in the fundamentals of surveying. All right, PS exam. So it gets a little more refined as far as the PS exam goes. It's going to cover different topics, though, including legal aspects, ethics, boundary determination, topographic mapping, construction surveying, professional responsibilities, and things like that. So the PS exam is going to be that second step that you take in order to work towards your licensure. So like I said, first you're going to take your fundamentals of surveying. Then once you meet the state specific requirements, you can sign up, take the principles and practices or the PS exam, and then your state specific. All right, so the reference, use it as a tool. So I always tell students when I'm talking to them is download this directly from NCSS. So what is it? It's the reference guide, and it's the only basically open source notes that you have during the exam. All right, so like I said, how we're going to use it as a tool. So it's got equations and formula sheets, sample questions, reference materials. So, sorry about that. So we've got relevant codes, standards, and regulations that candidates should be familiar with within the exam process. The biggest thing for the FS is the formula sheets, like I said, equations, things like that that you're going to need during the exam. You can't always remember them. It's easy to just go and flip through there, find it, and then use it that way. Benefits of the reference guide. So benefits of the reference guide, of course, focusing on relevant content. So this is exactly what they're going to ask you during the exam. Questions on this material, so you'll be able to find it in there, whether it be on ALTA FEMA standards, GIS, GNSS, math computations. Like I said, they're going to have the formulas in there. They're going to have a little bit of definitions. They're not going to have everything, but they will have a majority in there. So the reference guide helps candidates focus on their study efforts for specific topics and knowledge. Like I said, it's always handy to go through this the same time you're going through your own study material. Alright, so the PS and FS exams are pivotal, like I said, in the licensure process for surveyors. That reference guide provided by NCSS also serves as a key resource for exam preparation. So like I said, incorporate it while you're studying. Alright, benefits of it. We kind of already touched base on these, but efficiency of studying, practicing with formulas and equations. So if you know how to use it and navigate it before you get to the exam, it just makes it that much easier to find, and then you're already stressed during that exam and have anxiety. It'll calm you down a little bit just by knowing that it's on there. You just need to locate it. Alright, step by step to obtaining it. So like I said, when you're ready to take your exam, first thing to do, go to NCSS, and you're going to click on this button here for My NCSS. If you don't already have an account, you're going to want to go ahead and create one and get that taken care of. Once you're logged in, on your dashboard, under Useful Documents, you'll see it right here, and it's going to have, what is it called? Handbooks, reference handbooks instead of reference guides. Alright, so once you go ahead and you click on that, it's going to open up to this right here for your reference handbooks. So in here you're going to have the FS and the PS. Right here's the PS, and the top one is going to be your fundamentals of surveying. You can see that they are changing it as of July 1st, so just a couple days from now they will be introducing a new handbook. So go ahead and download the old one as well as the current one. And here's the biggest difference. So I'll have more information for you next month in regards to why it's looking like this. But the old version, if you can see it up here, is 181 pages. Sorry, 188 pages. The new one, however, is only 38 pages. So there's a huge difference between it. They took out a lot of content. I'm not sure if they're putting it all back in there or if we're just going to have less resources to use during that exam. Like I said, this is pretty much the only open source content or material that you're going to have during the exam. Alright, and the PS, it's going to be very similar to it. So you can see it's 140 pages is what it previously was. And the new one is only going to be 23 pages. So like I said, I'll have more information for you next month in regards to what has changed or why it's so limited. But as of right now, that's how you're going to access it, the usefulness of it. Like I said, the old version has all the formulas, equations, all the standards that you're going to be tested on. And it makes it, like I said, a good study tool while you're going through the course and content to learn how to become, a professional surveyor, taking your fundamentals of surveying exam, whatever it might be. Alright, and if you guys have any questions, by all means, go ahead and write them in the comments. Again, I do apologize for the audio not working, but we got that taken care of, started a little bit later, and are back up and running. And again, if you want to become licensed, send me an email to sales@nlcprep.com, and we'll go ahead and schedule a one-on-one call to go ahead and get everything taken care of. Find out what state you're in or what state you want to become licensed in, what the requirements are, and go from there. So again, I do sincerely apologize that it wasn't working earlier, the audio, but we do have that resolved. And don't forget, once you register for your exam, go to ncwees.org on here, and you can see you'll access My NCWES, and you'll register here. If not, you're going to want to create your own account. Once it's created, on your dashboard, you'll go ahead and see your reference handbooks. Once you click on there, you can pick whether it's the fundamentals of surveying or the principles and practices. You can even get engineering books as well if you need, but they're not going to help you very much for the for the surveying exams. Alright, and like I said, next month I'll have a little bit more information for you as far as what the difference is between the old one, which is going to go out of date July 1st, which was 188 pages for the fundamentals of surveying, and 38 pages for the new one. So as far as cost packages, we've got several different ones. We've got the subscription, which is a month-to-month base. We've got the full year membership, and then we've got a combo. All of them are going to be the same course content and information for you. Just depends on how you study, how much time you've got, and different variables like that. Like I said, the best way to do it is to go ahead and just schedule a call with us. We can go over it, find out what works best for you. If you have a pre-programmed calculator, or if you don't already, things like that that can benefit you during not only the FS exam, the PS, and a lot of the state-specific exams as well. Let's see if I can get this recentered. But again, I do appreciate you guys for coming back. If you have any questions, like I said, my name is Chris with NLC Test Prep. Go ahead and send me an email or give us a call at 877-758-6262, and we'd be glad to answer any questions you might have about becoming licensed, certain state, or what are the requirements, what other study material, tips and tricks, things like that. So again, I do thank you guys for joining us today. I hope the reference material is helpful. It'll help you prepare for those national exams a little bit better. As always, stay curious, stay informed, and best of luck on your journey to becoming a licensed surveyor. Remember, the learning doesn't end here. Stay connected with us on Facebook for updates and future webinar events. And I promise you, I will have the audio working next time. If you guys have any further questions or would like to revisit today's discussion, the recording will be here on YouTube for you. Until next time, again, my name is Chris with NLC Test Prep.